good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in your time zone. Welcome back to Sip and Talk.
Welcome back, Sip and Talkers. It is so good to be with you all today.
It really is. And, you know, we have quite the show lined up because something really unusual happened to us. Well, we received something.
It was this really lovely note, though. It came from the team working with a guy named Kenneth Schlenker. And it wasn't just a simple, hey, how are you? It was this, this profound reflection on where we are right now, today. January 16th, 2026. It really sparked this whole discussion. But I have to ask, do you know who Kenneth Schlenker actually is?
I do. According to the materials I have here, Kenneth Schlenker has quite a background, which I'll introduce in a moment. His philosophy is actually quite similar to ours. It really is. It's all about intentionality.
Exactly. And it's actually not surprising that this is all coming to a head right now. According to the Dentsu 2026 Media Trends Report, we have officially entered the algorithmic era of digital truth.
Wow. That sounds a little ominous.
It sounds like the title of a sci-fi movie that does not end well for the humans. But the key insight, and this is what really got me, is that attention is no longer just scarce. It has evolved into this high-pressure seconds economy.
The seconds economy.
Or an economy of seconds.
Just let that sink in for a second. We used to talk about the attention economy like it was this big, vast thing. Now we're fighting over individual ticks of the clock.
Right. It's Friday, January 16th, 2026, and we need to look at what that really means. The world has moved way past simple clicks. Clicks are 2024, we're in a completely different beast now.
So let's go back to this letter for a moment. It came from Lauren on Kenneth's team. And just to be super clear for our Sip and Talkers, we did not blow the entire budget to fly Kenneth in for an interview.
No, we did not. We are operating on our usual, very sacred coffee budget.
The coffee budget is sacred. It is. But the ideas in this letter were just too important to ignore. Specifically, these phrases she used: user harm and attention sovereignty.
Ooh, attention sovereignty. I like that.
Doesn't it just hit you? She wrote about how Kenneth started as a total tech insider, but then he realized the very products he was helping to market were literally being designed for addiction.
That's the classic maker's remorse, isn't it? The person who built the monster realizes it's a monster. So, for context, Kenneth Schlenker is the founder and CEO of a company called Opal.
Right, the screen time app.
The screen time app that's completely blown up. But before that, and this is the key, he was in product marketing at Google.
So he knows where all the bodies are buried. He knows the kitchen.
He knows the kitchen, he knows the ingredients, and he knows exactly how much sugar they've been putting in the sauce for years. He saw it was designed to hook you, and now he's completely flip-flopped to design for sovereignty.
I love that word. It's so powerful. Sovereignty.
Yeah.
It implies that your mind is a territory.
Right.
And you should be the ruler of it, not some algorithm.
Exactly. So our mission today, it's not to talk about an app. We don't really care about the app. It's the philosophy behind it. We are going to dissect the state of the attention economy versus what we're calling intention control here in 2026.
Okay, let's get into the landscape then.
Right.
Because looking around right now, the internet feels different. It feels different than it did even a couple of years ago.
Different is a very polite way to put it. I think a better word is broken. Let's break down what the reports are calling the 2026 Attention Economy Core Causal Model.
That's a mouthful.
It's a fancy title for a simple, gross concept. Factor number 1, AI slop.
Ugh, AI slop. It's such a perfect, disgusting term, but it is so accurate.
Isn't it? Generative AI has made the cost of creating content basically zero. You want 1,000 articles on, how to tie your shoes? An AI can spit that out in 10 seconds. You want 50,000 images of cats wearing tiny spacesuits. Done.
And the result is this flood. The internet is just awash in this mediocre, soulless, AI-generated filler.
Precisely. And that leads to the second part, aesthetic fatigue. Users, that's us, you, everyone listening, we're just tired of the fake content. We can smell it a mile away now.
It's so true. I feel like I'm constantly swimming in a plastic ocean.
Yeah.
You're scrolling, and everything looks technically perfect, but it just feels completely empty. There's no soul behind any of it.
And that's exactly why real human experiences, like actual on-the-ground reporting, now command a huge value premium. If you can prove a human being actually went somewhere, saw something with their own eyes, and wrote about it, that's suddenly gold dust.
It's so ironic, isn't it? We spent decades trying to make computers perfect, and now all we crave are the flaws and imperfections of a real human.
But this slop, It's forced a massive change in our behavior. This is the big shift from what we used to call passive discovery to active intention.
Okay, unpack that for us. What's the difference?
So, 5 years ago, what did you do? You doom scrolled. You just sat back and let the algorithm feed you an endless stream of content. You were passive.
Right.
Now, because the feed is 90% garbage, people are actively fleeing the content ocean. They're using their personal AI agents to filter everything.
Oh, yeah, I do this all the time. I don't search for the news anymore. I just ask my agent to summarize the day's events and, specifically filter out all the noise and the outrage bait.
Exactly. And that completely changes the marketing reality. Brands are no longer marketing to humans. They're marketing to algorithms. We're calling it AISO, AI Search Optimization.
AISO. So a company isn't trying to convince me to buy their coffee. They're trying to convince my AI that their coffee is the mathematically best match for my preferences.
Precisely. They have to get past your digital gatekeeper first. But even with these filters, the sheer pressure on our brains is just immense. I mean, let's look at the numbers, because the 2026 global data is, well, it's sobering.
Okay, hit us with a reality check.
All right. The global average for daily screen time is now 6 hours and 58 minutes.
Oh my God. That's nearly a full workday just staring at a screen.
It is. But wait, it gets worse. Look at Gen Z. They are clocking in over 9 hours a day.
9 hours? How is that even possible? That is literally more time than they spend sleeping.
And in some places, it's even more extreme. South Africa is hitting 9.4 hours. Brazil is at 9.2. It's a public health crisis, really.
Wow. It's actually physically painful to hear those numbers.
And of course, the money follows the eyes. Digital ad spend has officially cracked $1 trillion.
$1 trillion.
A trillion, with a T. The US, China, and India are leading that pack. And here's the kicker that goes back to this slop idea. Some analysts estimate that 60 to 70% of all web traffic is now just AI content. Automated news, bot posts, generated comments. It's bots talking to bots. Okay,
but here's the stat from the report that really it broke my heart.
Yeah.
And I want to highlight this. 90% of social media interaction is now with AI-recommended content from strangers.
90%.
Only 10% is actually seeing posts from your friends or your family.
The social has completely left social media.
It's gone. We aren't connecting with people we know anymore. We are connecting with an algorithm's best guess of what will keep us staring at the screen for 3 more seconds. It's so incredibly isolating.
It really is. And that isolation is mechanical. It's built into the system by design. Which I think brings us perfectly to the next part of this. How did we lose control, or as the industry is calling it, the Google Zero effect?
I've been hearing this term Google Zero a lot lately. What does it actually mean for someone listening?
Okay, so think back to the old days, right? Like 2022. You'd search for best pasta recipe, and Google would give you a list of 10 blue links, and you'd click on one. You'd go to a website.
Right, you'd go to a food blog, and you'd have to scroll past a long story about someone's grandmother in Tuscany to get to the actual recipe.
Exactly. But you visited a website. In 2026, that's basically gone. Over 40% of searches no longer result in a single click to an outside website.
So, where does the information come from?
The AI search, whether it's Perplexity or OpenAI search or Google's thing, it just gives you the answer directly on the results page. It scrapes the recipe from that blog and just shows it to you.
So the websites, they starve.
They starve. Traditional media traffic has absolutely collapsed. That's why you're seeing so many news outlets and blogs pivoting to physical events or really expensive subscriptions. They can't rely on ad traffic anymore because nobody's actually visiting the site.
It's a complete restructuring of the entire information economy, and it puts so much power in the hands of those few gatekeepers.
Which is what they're calling the sovereignty war.
Right, because you've got Siri 2.0 and the Gemini agents. They're the new gatekeepers to reality.
Let's just play out a scenario. It's 2026. You want to buy a new pair of sneakers. What do you do?
Okay, well, I definitely don't open a web browser and type in sneakers. I say it out loud to my AirPod or my pin. I'd say, I need a new pair of running shoes for high arches, under $150, that will also look good with jeans.
And then what happens?
My agent just filters everything.
Yeah.
It ignores 99% of the ads and the flashy marketing videos. It just looks at specs, user reviews, maybe sustainability ratings, and it comes back and says, here are the 2 best options for you.
Exactly. So if you're Nike or Adidas, you can't just seduce me with a cool video of an athlete anymore. You have to literally negotiate with my AI. You have to prove to the algorithm that your shoe is the superior choice.
Which I mean, it's efficient, I guess, but it also means we're putting so much implicit trust in these agents. And we all know nothing is truly free.
Nothing is ever free. Which brings us to the cost of free. I was looking at this Ad Maven 2026 report, and there's this massive metric shift happening in advertising.
We're not talking about click-through rates anymore, are we?
CTR is dead. Ancient history. Now it's all about CPS, cost per second, or what they're calling the quality second.
So advertisers are literally paying for our time, for a second of our focus.
Yeah. They are paying for the duration of your undivided attention. And that's where the dark side comes in. Because to earn those precious seconds, the AI algorithms are optimizing for extreme addiction. They have to trigger your emotions, your anger, your joy, your outrage to keep you locked in for just one more second.
It's weaponized psychology, scaled across billions of people. And that leads us directly into this idea of user harm.
This was the heaviest part of the letter we got.
It was, and it's a really important topic. When we talk about user harm research, we're really talking about this deep tension between what these giant platforms know about their products and what they tell us.
It's the tobacco moment for the tech industry.
It really is. I mean, we now know that platforms like Meta and especially Instagram have known for years through their own internal studies, like that Project Mercury thing that leaked, that their products directly increase anxiety, they increase loneliness, they create massive body image issues, especially in young girls.
But the data just gets buried.
It gets buried, or it gets spun into some positive PR. It's like a food company, knowing full well their ingredients cause lethargy and brain fog, but they market the product as an energy snack. They know the mechanism of action is harmful, but the profit motive is just too strong to ignore.
Now, to be fair, and we always try to be balanced here, the science isn't entirely one-sided. There is a real debate happening.
There is, and the nuance is important.
For example, you have that massive University of Manchester study. I think they tracked something like 25,000 teens, and their big conclusion was essentially, it's not the time.
Right. They found no clear direct link between just the sheer amount of time spent on screens and rates of depression. Their whole argument is that it's about how you use that time.
Exactly. Are you actively creating something? Are you connecting with friends? Or are you just passively doom scrolling through a feed of strangers? 4 hours spent editing a film is totally different from 4 hours of passive consumption. But then you've got the counter argument.
The addiction argument.
Right. That study in JAMA, it showed that 1/3 of children now exhibit what can be clinically defined as addictive digital behavior.
And that's the key distinction, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about the clock. It's about the behavior. It's about withdrawal when you can't use it, craving it, the inability to stop even when you know it's hurting you.
It's the dopamine loop. And the neuroscience is pretty clear on this. The brain pathways that are activated look incredibly similar to those in, say, alcohol or gambling addiction.
And just on a personal level, I feel this. We talk about this concept of fragmented reality.
Oh, totally.
With the rise of spatial computing, you see people everywhere walking around with their Apple Vision Pros or whatever the new light version is. It's getting so much worse.
The cognitive cost, they call it.
It's the death of the micro moment. You know that little bit of time when you're waiting for your coffee to brew or standing in line at the grocery store?
Those little boring in-between moments.
We used to daydream. We used to people watch. We used to just stare at the ceiling and let our minds wander. Now short videos and AR overlays invade every single one of those spaces. We have effectively killed boredom. And I honestly think by killing boredom, we're killing our own creativity.
We're killing the default mode network in the brain that literally never gets a chance to rest and connect ideas anymore.
Exactly.
Okay, so the picture you're painting is pretty grim. We've got AI slop, we have addiction algorithms, we've got a seconds economy that literally wants to eat our brains for lunch. Is there any hope?
There is always hope. And that brings us right back around to Kenneth Schlenker and the whole philosophy behind Opal.
The resistance.
The resistance.
Yeah.
And Kenneth's approach is so interesting because it's not about smashing the machine.
Yeah.
He's a tech guy through and through.
Right. Opal isn't a Luddite movement. It's a tech solution designed to fix a tech problem. And honestly, it's working. They reached $10 million in annual recurring revenue with just an 11-person team.
That is the absolute definition of high leverage. It's incredible. But the core idea is what matters. And that idea is friction over prohibition.
Okay, explain that. Friction versus prohibition.
So prohibition is when you say, that's it, I'm deleting Instagram forever. Or I'm never using my phone after 9 p.m.
which usually lasts for about 3 days, maybe a week if you're strong.
If you're lucky.
Mm.
Friction, on the other hand, is about slowing yourself down. It's about reclaiming that sovereignty. It's about giving your brain, specifically your prefrontal cortex, a fighting chance. It's making you pause for just 10 seconds before an app opens, giving you a moment to ask, wait, do I actually want to do this, or is this just an impulse?
It's a speed bump for your brain's worst habits.
Exactly. And this whole philosophy is really clashing with how schools are trying to handle things right now.
Oh man, the school bans. It's 2026. And something like 76% of U.S. schools have now banned phones entirely during the school day.
It's a huge trend. You see kids putting their phones in those locked pouches. Some classrooms even have Faraday cages.
And I get it. I really do. Teachers are desperate.
I get it too. But Kenneth's counterpoint, and he's got this Opal for Schools initiative, is that bans don't teach habits.
Right. If you just take the drug away from the addict, you don't teach them how to live in a world where the drug exists everywhere.
Exactly. The moment that final bell rings, those kids are glued to their screens, binging to make up for lost time. The Opal approach is different. Students scan a QR code on their own phone to enter a focus mode. They retain their autonomy. They make the choice to disconnect.
That's a huge psychological difference, isn't it? I am choosing to focus is so much more powerful than the teacher took my phone away.
It builds the muscle of self-control. It's about, as he says, disconnecting to connect.
I really like that. And frankly, this ability to disconnect, in 2026, it's becoming a genuine status symbol.
Oh, 100%. Focus is the new luxury.
Totally. If you're always online, always responding to messages within seconds, always posting, you don't look important. You look like you're working for the machine.
It's become low status. The truly wealthy, the elite, they're offline. They practice slow consumption. They have human assistants filtering their messages.
I was just reading about these new luxury travel packages. Phone-free travel. You pay thousands of dollars extra to go to a resort where there is a guaranteed zero cell signal.
What used to be a bug is now the main feature. And look at what's happening in the Nordics. They are piloting attention allowances for young people.
Wait, what? Like a data cap for your brain?
Kind of. The government is working on a framework, like a recommended daily budget, for how much algorithmically driven screen time is healthy. It's fascinating.
That is the most Nordic thing I have ever heard. Here is your government-approved ration of dopamine for the day, citizen.
It's definitely well-intentioned, but it just shows how fractured the global landscape is. You look at China.
Oh, the efficiency in China is both amazing and terrifying. On doing their version of TikTok, they have 247 AI hosts.
These aren't even real people streaming.
Nope. They are photorealistic AI avatars that look and sound completely real, and they stream 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, constantly optimizing their pitch to maximize conversion every single second. It is pure, uncut capitalist efficiency.
Meanwhile, you have Europe going in the complete opposite direction.
Yeah.
The new 2026 transparency laws are forcing platforms to offer non-algorithmic feeds as an option.
Which is huge. You can legally demand to see a chronological feed from your friends that isn't trying to manipulate you.
And then, well, then there's the U.S.
The U.S., where we have the midterm elections coming up this year.
And polarization is the main currency of the attention economy here.
It absolutely is. And with deepfakes being so cheap and easy to make now, attention to fact has become an expensive luxury. It takes so much energy to figure out what's real that most people just retreat into their tribal bubbles where everything feels certain.
It's just easier to believe the lie that confirms your worldview than it is to spend the attention currency required to find the actual truth.
That is a very depressing, but I think a very accurate summary of the American political landscape in 2026.
We have to pull this all back together. We need to synthesize this.
Okay, let's do it. So what does this all mean? We've gone from an attention economy where they just wanted our eyes to an intention economy where we literally have to fight to maintain our own free will.
And it's not about smashing the machine. We can't go back to flip phones and carrier pigeons. That's not the answer. It's about learning how to drive the machine rather than letting the machine drive us.
And I think that brings us to the most important point of the entire day. Actually, Kenneth Schlenker reminds us of one thing. In 2026, the most expensive luxury is not the newest VR glasses, but a period of uninterrupted deep thinking time.
Exactly. Just like this handwritten letter, that sincerity of focusing on the present moment is something AI cannot simulate. Rather than saying we want to fight technology, it's better to say we need to learn how to reclaim the residency of our brains in this world surrounded by algorithms.
Reclaiming residency. I love that. You're the landlord of your own mind. It's time to evict the algorithmic squatters.
Evict the squatters. Kick them out.
Well, on that note, I think I need to go find a pen and some paper and actually write someone a letter.
Yes, please do. But before you go into your deep thinking time,
don't forget to subscribe to the Sip&Talk podcast. We love having you here with us for these conversations.
And we also have a special shout out for an old friend of ours. You have to go subscribe to Mickey's YouTube channel. It's called Mickey to Life.
Mickey to Life. He's got the best memes. He's hilarious.
He really does. Plus, he does these great spirits and liquor tastings and some amazing travel vlogs. It's the kind of real human-made content we actually like to watch.
Real human content. You will find absolutely no AI slop over there.
Exactly.
All right, Sip and Talkers, protect your focus. It's the most valuable thing you own.
See you in the next episode.